This is Ryan Abraham, Dan Weber, USCFootball.com. Instant analysis here on Howard Jones Field. Wednesday practice, half pads practice, Dan, but not a lot of football talk. It's all about Josh Shaw. The team had a little meeting with the leaders, with Steve Sarkisian there. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Well, basically, they had a meeting that completely changed the nature of their post-practice interviews and the way things worked. And the meeting was to say, let's keep this normal. Let's keep this not being a distraction, looking over at more big TV cameras than we've ever seen here. And knowing they'd been there the whole practice, knowing that the Today Show was here at midnight, setting up for a 4 a.m. shoot,
Wow.
on location. So I'm not sure you're fighting a winning battle when you say, we can't let this distract us. It's already distracted us. I mean, to act like it's not. Now, the fact that the players, though, will tell you, none of them have talked to Josh. None of them have really gotten involved in the story that much, and they don't know exactly what to believe, although they've got some questions themselves. In some ways, that's almost a distraction because Josh has been the natural team leader.
Yeah.
He's been the guy who calls the meetings, players-only meetings. Josh calls them. Josh is the guy, at halftime, if they need a player to stand up and start talking to him, it's Josh. Now he's not here. Now, I know they said, well, it's only a couple of days, but, I think the problem that some people are having is it's not resolved in any way at this point in time and doesn't show any signs of being resolved. Therefore, it just hangs over, this football team.
I thought you had a really good piece this morning up on USCFootball.com talking about, Wednesday morning update, what this really needs to happen here. We thought we might get some resolution today. We thought it might be put to bed. Here's what happened. Really, it was status quo, just no real update.
Well, and Sark basically said he's passing whatever comes his way on to the proper authorities above him and letting them decide. Problem is, they're not the people coaching this football team. He's got a football game Saturday. They don't. They don't have to worry. If you're, the classic academic bureaucrat, you're not somebody who puts your, neck on the line the way football coaches do. So how long is this going to be allowed to try to just hang out there? That's the problem. That doesn't do anybody any good. Doesn't do USC any good. Doesn't do Josh Shaw any good. Doesn't do Sark any good. But that's the situation we're kind of in right now, where basically it's out of Sark's hands, it almost seems.
The players and Steve Sarkisian talked about they want to focus on football. They wanted the questions to be about football. They actually, like you said, limited the players. We normally can talk to all defensive players today. They made it just Hayes Pillard and Leonard Williams. They're trying to focus on football. But if you saw the throngs of media people out here, probably double the 50 people who were out here yesterday, probably double that today. Cameras everywhere, mic stands set up. It has to be, it's a distraction for us. Can it not be a distraction for the players?
I don't think so. As Sark said, for example, he said, I thought we had a good practice, had an awesome practice, great practice, whatever. And he said, I don't know what you guys over here saw. Well, he's right. These guys over here were already lined up with their cameras aimed away from the field at the, at the board, the interview board, the interview wall, and they didn't care what was going on in practice.
Yeah.
So that's the point. You can't tell people what, they got to pay attention to this. No, or you can say, people, we don't want any more questions about Josh Shaw. I guarantee you, each time that was said, the next question was about Josh Shaw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't have control of this. You do have control of the situation and how you handle it. I'm not sure that's being addressed this way. Leonard Williams made a good point, though. He said, we're used to this. This is a team that, last year, look at what we went through last year. We think we know how to handle this. That may be the best part of this of all. This is a team that went through 4 coaches in 65 days or whatever. And it's like, yeah, so what else is new?
Yeah. The team knows how to handle it. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how Steve Sarkisian is going to handle this, because this is really the first piece of adversity, the first road bump, I guess you could say. When we talked to Pat Hayden a few weeks ago, he said Steve Sarkisian's done everything right. These are the easy things. Well, this might be lumped into that. Is that something, one of these easy things to deal with? Obviously, it's not really easy.
As Steve said, they've worked too hard for 9 months, and they've worked really hard and done really smart things, and they've done everything right. And now you get to a week, for example, where you transition from camp and all-out competition and going hard every day for 3 solid weeks, and now it's a different focus. But now do you have an interruption in your focus, because now these kids are trying to transition. Some of them are going to the scout team. It's a whole different kind of practice because you don't want to leave it on the field. You want to have it for Saturday. you have to focus in a different way during game week. But now their focus is somewhat interrupted by this outside thing that just came in. How do you handle that? We'll see. I don't think we know.
All right, well, it's going to wrap it up here from Howard Jones Field. Wednesday instant analysis, not a lot of football talk, unfortunately, but USC getting ready for Fresno State. For Dan Weber, this is Ryan Abraham. Check out uscfootball.com for more.